Now, of course, this was Army infantry basic. And when we ran that obstacle course the first time, yes, I thought that was kind of fun. And in the meantime, I'm starting to get a little bit acquainted with some of the guys. And had the weird thing I think I've mentioned probably already, of coming out of the shower one morning, stark naked, with my towel getting dried off, and here's 5 guys, and obviously I'm the center of attention. What the heck is this all about? And they let me know that you're going to smoke. I never even thought about the fact that not smoking would intimidate anybody, but it obviously did. And the good Lord gave me the prompt, because I'm not that smart. Because I looked at him and I said, there's 5 of you and you're going to make me smoke? Let's get this a little more even. Which one of you wants to take me on, and if you win, I'll smoke. But otherwise, shame on you guys. You know, they looked at me and turned around and left. And those same guys, 2 or 3 weeks later, when they went out to drink, they wanted me to go along to be their official dragger. You know, not the official driver. We didn't have any vehicles to drive. It was my duty to stay with them while they got drunk and get them back home if I had to drag them. Usually you didn't have to drag them, but you did have 1 or 2 that you had to hold on to because they were mighty unsteady. And they'd buy that liquor in those little bottles, high proof, and just sit there and guzzle that thing down. And they were just kids. They couldn't handle their liquor. And how in the heck that was something good, I never figured it out then, and I'm glad I never figured it out at any time. But one of the boys that slept, 2 or 3 rows over and around the corner there a little bit, in other words, not right on my row, was an O'Brien, and he was very proud of the fact that his mother had been a survivor of the Titanic. And, you know, that was way before all this movie thing and everybody knowing all about the Titanic. And most of us were a little curious, what do you mean the Titanic? And so he had to explain that this was this terrible shipwreck with an iceberg, and we were all interested in hearing it. He had a little audience when he was telling us about that. Well, another boy, I can't remember either one of those boys' names, but another boy was a little redhead from out in California, and we both thought we were athletes. So when it was time to run the obstacle course for the 2nd time, I think they only ran it 4 times in the total of the training sessions, we decided we'd have a race. Man, I'm telling you, we flew over those obstacles. We passed everybody in our company, but the Riggs, and I've forgotten his name, but we were both back there towards the back, so his last name begins with some letter back there in the lower end of the alphabet. Well, we passed everybody in our company, and now we're passing people in the company that was ahead of us. You know, we're with people nobody knows us at all. And he's ahead of me, maybe 30, 40 yards. But I'm convinced he's going to tire and I'm going to pass him. Well, we came to a place where you had to walk on one rope while you held on another and went across a stream. Well, there's just one little problem. The bottom rope had broken, so you had to go hand over hand. Well, my upper arm strength is not that strong, and I had plenty of trouble getting across there, and he gained a little more distance on me. Well, then you ran, I don't know, 50 to 100 yards, and here's an obstacle that you had to skinny up a rope, one of those big old fat ropes like later we had in the PE rooms. I'd never seen one of those ropes while I was in that service deal. And you had to climb that rope, and then when you got up there, there was a crossbar, and you had to and it was literally a log. You had to reach up and get a hold of it and get up on top, and then there were other logs laying out across that you were to skinny across and then drop off to the other side. Well, I never got to the other side. I got up there hand over hand on that, and I really didn't know how to climb on a rope. So I did it all with arms. Didn't know how to use the feet on them. I got up there and I reached for that bar. I slipped, and just when I should have been hitting the ground, I got hung by my left arm. I got a little indentation around the arm right in there that it looks like muscle definition, but it's from the old injury. And boy, oh boy, That sucker hurt. Jerked the arm up here, as well as doing something to the arm here. And my always, as I was hurting football, I ran it off. So I get up trying to run it off, and we'd had first aid that very morning. And the first instruction is immobilize the patient, get him to lay still. And I'm wanting to run and shake it off, and they throw me down. Well, they ended up taking me to the clinic, and the medics looked at it and they said, "You're not going to be able to train here for a few days." And I don't know, after 4 or 5 days, they said, "You know, you either have to go back now, or you're going to have to drop out of this cycle and start over." Didn't want to do that. So I decided, I thought about it and said, "Okay, sign me off of sick leave, and I'm going to give it a go." And that's another story.